Well, hello, guys. How are you today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're listening to this?
Um,
We do apologize for the lateness. Have a lot of stuff going on because we're going on
we're
our
going on our honeymoon.
honey
Going on
moon.
honeymoon with my honey.
Honey. Bring it up a little bit there.
Popular to the country, I believe. Everybody thought that we were already married, but
Don't stop playing. We've always been married.
we are. Yeah, technically.
Yeah. You always have to go by the man's law and, you know, do the little thing and have the people tell you what to do, saying your vows and whatnot. But
He's a twin boy.
soulmate,
Now he is.
my heat mate.
He wasn't at first.
She right. If
Gave him a
y'all,
hard time.
for those that's been on the TikTok and seen us, I posted the little
Even the beginning
ceremony.
of our podcast.
Yeah, yeah. She,
Most of the ceremony. Yeah.
I was persistent,
Very.
persistent. Um,
They got him a good thing. Bagged him a baddie.
so if you see it down there, the title. This is part one of parental influences.
Wow.
Right. So that's the topic of the day. We're gonna go ahead and roll that intro beam footage. Woo-hoo! So thank you for tuning in or basically watching or listening, whichever platform that you're on. If you're on Spotify, you get to see our lovely faces. So if you're listening to us on any other platform, well, yeah, any other platform, our podcast, and you're listening to the audio version of it, definitely, if you have access to Spotify and you want to see us, hey, that's your chance.
We're here.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
can also check us out on IG or TikTok as well. We put our faces on there sometimes.
And YouTube, and it is Mr. the letter N, Mrs. Take over the yes.
Letters and.
Oh, the letter N.
Oh, Mr. and me. Oh, it's AND on IG. Mr. and Miss Take Over the World
Oh, is it?
on IG. I thought.
Oh,
We'll worry about those technicalities.
we will correct ourselves a little bit later.
We'll put that in the description box below.
But
Yeah.
this is the sofa pillow talk. We normally try to have the podcast on Wednesdays, but like we stated at the very beginning, just recently got
So we're
legally
literally
married.
doing it on Wednesday.
Yeah, on
So
Wednesday,
this is gonna post later this morning.
later tonight.
Later tonight,
Yeah,
rather.
yeah.
And when you listen to it tomorrow, we'll be on the road on our way to Leppy Deppy time.
Yes, 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 yes.
This is this topic's quite the interesting. As a matter of fact, I kind of dug up the topic with some coworkers at work,
Okay.
and we were just jibber jabbering about it. And it's amazing how 85% of our adulthood is influenced by parental influences. How our parents and our childhood upbringing and rearing has influenced us, and some of us don't realize that some of it wasn't all good, and some of the bad wasn't all bad, but it has definitely shaped us and made us act or make decisions differently as adults. It's made me change or want to do better or do different with my parenting style. Yeah. I'm gonna say for me, my parents are wonderful. They're amazing. They're still together. 35 years in the game. Shout out to them. And I will say that I've had both good and negative experiences. I feel like, it's shaped me to be a decent person. But I know everybody hasn't had the pleasure of saying, "Hey, I have had a great childhood," and then I've had some experiences that were like traumatizing to me. That some people like, "Oh, that's nothing." So it just is a matter of influence. And it was amazing to me to see that my brother may not have exactly seen some of the experiences the same way I did.
Mm.
So it was just interesting that 95% of our adult life, we spend that trying to figure out what happened in our childhood life and move past it.
Oh, well, some of us don't, though, if you think about it, and that's probably kind of the issue.
Yeah.
If you dig deep, the fact that we don't want to go back. So it's funny.
Yeah, and
That,
some people leave the past in the past.
yeah, they figure if I leave it back there and I don't hit the hornet nest, then I should be okay.
I don't know. I think maybe the biggest thing for me was like in my decision to get my divorce initially. My parents' relationship was a big influence on me. Because I was like, dang, I want to be like my parents.
Mm-hmm.
They had that good longevity relationship that's been through the war, the tough, the thick and thin, been through things that people, would say, oh, that should have broke them, but they still perspired through it. And it made me sit back and rethink a lot. I thought about a lot. And then I made a decision based on that, regardless of what my parents did. They raised me well enough to know, hey, if you're not in a good place or good space, do what you need to do to move forward. And they were very supportive of me. So I've had positive parental influence. Maybe I should pick up some of that and use it currently, which I do. And then some stuff I run from because I felt like it traumatized me, or not necessarily traumatized, but I don't know. I guess society sees it as negative now, or society has changed so much that the way we were raised back then seems like eons ago, and it's so strange that the way we were raised then is like not how we raise kids now because kids have so much different stuff to deal with.
I think we can use traumatized. Traumatized is not a bad thing because it is some form of trauma, but
Slightly damaging.
But I guess when you use the word trauma, automatically it becomes an embarrassment.
Negative or negative, yeah.
And regardless, even if it's negative or not, but the magnitude of it, trauma, oh crap, it must be just extremely bad. As if it bothered you or caused some form of confusion, hurt, regardless of how deep the hurt is, it's still a form of trauma.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out how to separate ourselves from the levels of what we're titling. I think that's what ends up. And it's funny that you talk about the work situation and talking about this title to work.
Yeah, because different parental backgrounds. I think one coworker may have been a divorced home. Maybe one was in a single parent home, and then you had one that's in a two-parent home, and they all have different experiences on their childhood. Mostly similar, but I think because they're in the same age range as me, but still all different. And then it's amazing that we all end up in same workplace with so many different mixed backgrounds going on. And then even some of the pharmacists chimed in, and she was like, well, this is and this, and it's like their parental influence was like still yet slightly different than ours in so many ways. But how our parents raised us is very key to how we go forward in the future.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna put none of their business and names out. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Even though they did say, well, you could have just asked for our permission to do it. I told them next go around I'll round up the conversation.
So you said that you was doing a show.
Yeah, I did let them know. So they're not gonna be totally shocked or surprised, but I'm not gonna disclose like too much information. If I tell a story, they'll know I'm specifically talking about them.
That person that they understand.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So,
and then some of y'all might know who I am anyway, so y'all probably know who I'm talking about. So, no offense or no harm to anybody.
This basically is no anything that we talk about is not dragging anybody or trying to make anybody look small.
I'm gonna throw me under the bus first.
Yes. We're good at doing that. Lead by example. Not saying that we're throwing other people up on the bus, but what we're being is being transparent. Barbershop talk. When I was selling the barbershop, right? I was talking to one of the customers, and we was talking about the honeymoon thing, and I've expressed how I I found the right one this time, and
you did that, man.
and we was talking about how the parents are definitely with men, because it's real hard with men, because men don't like talking, men don't like going to counseling.
No.
Men always, I mean, and
I like that about you, that you actually have conversations, talk about it. And then I like your relationship with your mom. Like, I don't know, she seems open and honest with you.
Man, that thing is weird, bro.
Yeah, they do have like this
that
weird
thing
telepathic
is weird.
But it's so cute, though.
Whatever. That thing is weird, confusing.
It's cute.
I ain't gonna say aggravating, because you know I would miss it if it wasn't there, but it's just like, bro.
Yeah.
I had this side note, is this thing like my mom spiritually telepathically calls me, and she don't know that she's calling me, and it's the weirdest thing. So, but that is something I'll probably get into.
So you have a positive parental influence in your mother, and they've heard but you've experienced some traumas with it too.
Yeah.
So it's not been perfect.
Yeah.
And then with your dad, it's like a big wounded scar mainly.
Yeah. So, but that's what I was gonna get to.
That you're hoping to hear.
The barbershop thing, cause the dude we was talking, and and I'm not gonna get into this. We did this last time. And he pulled up talking about Will Smith and stuff, and I ain't not get into it or whatnot, but that in that relationship, she don't want to be with him, and I had to cut him off. Like, it ain't really got nothing. It ain't really got nothing to do about who wants to be with who. What it really boils down to, we got two people that nobody really understands. That a lot of the hurt that they going through stems from past trauma, starting back from definitely with Will. So, and I'm gonna take Will back out, and I'm gonna pull myself in.
Or just, you could say both of them, because again.
But that's what I'm saying. So, but I don't want to get into that.
Right. She was missing a father figure. Yeah. And he was also missing a father figure, even though the father was there.
That's what me and him that's why I'm going and use myself. Right. Me and him kind of mirror each other. And pretty much like how she was saying, I can really say that I also have great parents. Don't get me wrong with anything that I say, or it's not me trying to make one look better than the other, because both have their faults. But I can say that a lot of my failed attempts of being
a parent yourself,
yes,
have been based on
my absence of my dad, even though my dad was there. But I tell people a lot that it blows my mind to hear, and not to try to make myself feel like, oh Lord, I just had it bad, but it still just blows my mind to hear someone say, man, I ain't never met my dad, and he a deadbeat dad, forget that man. I'm like, bro, I'd rather have that, so I don't have to say, I don't know what he looked like, so I can say that. I don't know what he looked like, but I got one, and I know what he looked like, and
I can see him, I can touch him, but it's like he's not there.
Yeah, so, and we get so tied up with the provide, and do you have somewhere to stay? And I tell people also, like I was talking to the mentor at the thing at school, and he was talking about presence.
Presence provides more than finances ever
yes.
will. A dollar will not pay for or cover up trauma unless you're spending dollars to go to counseling to try and reverse or fix or work through the issue.
Believe it or not, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, and you can come at me in the comments, or look at me kind of strange. I'm like, oh man, this fool don't know what he's talking about.
Should have waited to sip my tea then.
Money. A lot of us, especially a lot of men, a lot of women look at men that if he don't have a big bag, then or he can't provide. Seriously, what you have all that, right? Hypothetically, let's sit up here. You find, even if we just go back, male, female, regardless of the situation, y'all find this wonderful relationship, financially, monetarily. Y'all are just set. You know, the strength is there, the protection is there, but there's no connection between you and the individual, nor is the connection with the kids.
And kids feel stuff when we don't think they do. That parental influence is strong, especially if you got one child that gravitates to one parent more than the other. And God forbid that parent be the traumatized one or the traumatizer.
Yes.
It's like even harder for that kid to understand.
Those kids end up growing up
that
being
stuff
like that.
we do to the kids affects them, and it makes them change how they want to parent their kids when they have kids.
Oh, you throw it out there, like a man abusing the mom.
That would make a woman's or a son say,
hey, that's what I have to do in order to keep my woman in check. And then sometimes it may not even be to a point of like the reality of it, but subconsciously, it's like everything's all good. The woman's like, oh man, this is the best man ever. One mistake comes up, and and the first thing is, oh, you ain't doing what you're supposed to. Bam. I'm sorry. I really, and that person may have not really meant that, but it's conditioned because I saw my mom every day. Or you get the vice versa part where in so many ways that child has become a coward in so many eyes, and not even so many eyes, their own eyes. I am a coward. And so now I allow other people victimizing me. And I can't stand up for yeah. So, and I want to say that was pretty much kind of like me. I saw myself as a coward.
Yeah, but even in a sense, even though your dad was not physically abusive,
no, he was not physically abusive.
It just neglectly abusive, like constantly neglect or not paying attention, not being present or being. We say drunken to the point of you can't really recognize or even function?
But that was the reason why I fought him. I thought maybe one day
if
I man up and I can
face it,
beat him, he'll understand. Yeah.
And that's still.
I couldn't beat him. It didn't work out that way. Yeah, I even gave his furniture back and stuff and put it out. I took all my furniture out the bedroom, put it in the living room. Here, you have your stuff. It's your folks' stuff anyway. I don't want it. I got my furniture back later though.
That was a traumatizing moment for you, and that made you realize, hey, I can't fight this fight that way. It's not a physical thing.
No, I just needed somewhere to sleep.
You just need somewhere.
Yeah, I just needed somewhere to sleep. Nah.
You tried to defeat the parent, and the parent still defeated you. That could be traumatizing, especially if a parent says, "Well, I'm not going to apologize to you."
Yeah, it didn't. Apologizing.
It's like pulling straws.
Yeah, he does it now, but you can see how it's like, oh, it's hurting his soul. He don't want to be wrong.
And there are some parents that are in that category of plain old doggone toxic, plain old hard head, and have been traumatized themselves and don't even recognize the trauma. And then they treat the kids a particular way, and then they're trying to figure out, why are you like this? Why are you so?
And they really the reason why the child like that.
At the end of that,
don't want to take ownership of.
Then you got the jealous parents.
Oh yeah.
That influences you to treat yourself or your children a different way if you have kids.
Lord.
And it makes some people decide, hell, I don't want no kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a parent.
I don't know what I went through, so I don't want no kids. Kids do that. Yeah. And I think that's sad. That right there, in a sense, I feel that if you feel that way, if you find yourself saying that, oh, I don't want kids
And you can
because when
even still,
you need to
yeah,
talk to someone.
and you can even still be the perfect parent, have a perfect childhood, both parents there, both parents
Mhm.
together, and then in some ways you still feel like you didn't get what you needed.
Yep.
So that parental influence, oh, my parents wanted everything so perfect,
Yeah.
and so now you're going into life saying, oh, I don't want everything to be perfect.
Mm.
Especially if they're pushing you to do something you don't really want
Yes.
to do, even though it's for your betterment or
Yes.
your good. You know, some people find themselves like, no, this is too much pressure. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I love my parents, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
And that's another sad, traumatic situation. And then some people are able to recognize their negative parental influences and say, I'm going to pick the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to fix it. We're going to work through it. And we're going to make positive decisions for the betterment of the next generation coming along.
Yeah.
I think that's really what I plan on working on. So I got some things I got to do. Ooh, somebody sent you some money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Ching, ching. So yeah, we're looking to be. I want to be a positive parental influence. You know, for my kids, to my
And don't
kids.
let nobody tell you that you can't be a friend to your child, because you should be the very first friend that your child becomes
Honestly
friend
speaking,
with.
my divorce has taught me to be a different kind of parent because my kids have taught me some things. I have learned to say I'm sorry when I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sit back and realize when I've made a bad parenting decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes we lash out and yell at the kids, and I sometimes feel bad afterwards because I'm like, I could have really just sat down and explained to them because they're really intelligent kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel and see things. So I really could be more open with them. So that's one thing that I'm working on changing with them. You know,
And learn,
be open, honest, and it's okay to apologize.
even if you got twins, realize that those kids are different.
Entities.
They are two different.
Man, my
people.
two are like day and night, and then you have 5 that are like
day, night, afternoon, evening,
morning,
the weekend, the summer break.
Right.
But no, I you guys, you got to. You really have to understand that even from birth, you really have to get your mindset of saying that, all right,
there's no handbook on this. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
This is a totally different child. Now, if it's your first child, you're winging it, basically. But you got one child already, and this is the second, third, fourth. Definitely, you have. Oh, we talked about earlier about
even though you can read a million books on it.
Neutral rules, as in
like
the general rules for every. Yeah. You're gonna always have general rules like what time to come in, what time to go to bed, chores and stuff. Those are generalized rules. But when it comes down to the individuality, you have to sit and figure out, okay, what works for this child. As a
parent, I feel like I'm a psychologist sometimes because I have one kid that's one particular way and one that's like she's like total opposite. They are literally like day and night.
You have to.
So I have to love on one a particular way, and then I have to switch over and love on the other one in another particular way. But I still love them both the same equally. I just have to show love according to their love language. You know, as parents, we really are our kids' first try at love and relationships and friendships, partnerships, how to handle an argument. Yes. Like parental influence is like strong.
Yep. I am supposed to show a son how to be a husband if he wants to be a husband. On top of that, I also
teach him how to take care of himself.
Yes, not only that, I also have to show my daughters, if not through mom, how to treat a woman, if not through both as well. Yes. Which is probably better to do both, not only treating mom respectfully, you treat them like young ladies as well, regardless of the age that you are. And you open the door for them if that's something that you want to do.
And then for the sake of just saying generality, everybody's not for everybody. All men don't feel like they should be with women, and all women don't feel like they should be with men. So I think the psychology on it would just be to raise them to be adaptable, to create a positive relationship with anybody they come across.
Basically, how to treat someone with respect and love, and not being nasty and whatnot.
As a parent, a lot of parents growing up in our time, this new age stuff with girls liking girls and boys liking girls at a young age. Our parents didn't play that.
Yeah.
Ain't bringing no little boys around here. And them little gas, keep them little fast tail gas from around here too.
Yeah.
So growing up, I didn't know what to like or not
like. Difference between me and you. I was able to have somebody over eventually. I think
you were able to have somebody.
I think I was the only child in the house.
Had somebody. They couldn't call the house unless they were talking about homework.
Oh yeah, they called the house.
Go outside.
And my mama took them home.
I better not go outside that fence.
Mama took them home too.
Now my brothers were allowed. They went outside the fence. See, they were hard headed. They took their weapons like, geez, I was a lady. I'm gonna do all that.
I took my fights as a G.
I think I cried for days after I got a whipping because I still was trying to figure out why they were trying to beat the shit out of me. But then they got to a point where they stopped whooping me when I turned about 10 and I started my cycle. My dad and my mom stopped whooping me. They started lecturing me.
So basically, guys.
And I got to the point where I was like, beat me and let me go to bed. And again, to me, the lectures were traumatizing. But I was appreciative. I'm appreciative of them now because now it makes me stop and do cognitive and critical thinking because my dad used to ask us rhetorical questions. And then if we answer the question, it's for you to think about it. That would add like another 5 or 10 minutes onto the conversation. So we eventually learn a rhetorical question, a question that you answer in your mind, but not out loud. So we learn that quick. So we learn quickly to alleviate being in an argument or alleviate getting in trouble. He would make us say, hey, think first. Do you really want me to get on your tail at the end of the day? Or do you want to do the right thing so I don't have to do this? My dad's a talker.
I didn't get that. I ain't get no talking. I ain't get no spanking. I was able to sit up.
You wish you could have got some spanking?
Yeah.
I had enough. I had enough assholes to pass around. Yeah, I would have gladly given you some of them.
Yeah, I tell my mom no.
I took butt whoopings for my brothers.
Because
I was the oldest, so I was supposed to be an example. And then I was a girl, so it was like.
So don't get me wrong. Now I ain't saying that I wanted it.
But your brothers and sisters really think you was a little terrorizing badass.
Again, but that's the thing. They really didn't see inside the house and see what was going on. That's a whole
other
story.
They grew up different.
That's a whole other story.
Oh, this gonna be a part 2.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna leave that.
Yeah, that's a whole different story on that right there. But so if we wanted to change the narrative
be flexible as a parent. Learn to loosen up. Learn to be okay with saying I'm sorry. Because you want somebody to say something sorry to you if you're wrong about something.
Yeah.
Especially if they say something out of pocket of character, we don't want to get all them people. I don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad example of how to teach a kid how to have a relationship with people in the future.
Be mindful of your actions because we can talk all day. And the kids, obviously, we learned today that our kids
do the Coca-Cola thing. The Coca-Cola thing you were talking about with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Parental influence. They do what they see us do.
So we can sit and tell a child not to drink a soda and constantly tell them not to drink the soda, right? But then we go get the soda ourselves and sit right in front of them and drink it. Which, again, we are the parent. We love to throw that around. I'm the parent. I do what I want to do.
Yeah, you do what I say do.
Yeah. So that is true to a certain degree. But again, practicing what you preach comes to mind. And if you really seriously are wanting to teach your kid how to be mindful of what they do or what they say, you have to do the same thing.
Hold yourself accountable. Hey, look, I know those are bad words Mom just said, but don't you repeat them in the wrong time in the wrong place. Because people will tell on you these days. Kids tell on you. Kids go to school and tell all your business.
Yeah, they be waiting to tell on folks. They don't want nobody telling on them.
Before I meet the teacher for the first PTO, she probably know more about me and my household than I do. Yeah. Because kids get
it's kind of it differs. Because you do have some kids that go to school scared. I can't say nothing about what's going on at all.
My kids was talking.
Yeah, they tell.
But we grew up like that. What happens in this house stays in this house. Mm-hmm. And I will say, as a parental influence, at first when raising them as little people, make sure they leave the room or don't say it around them or don't say stuff to them. But as they got older, I have changed that
Not
part of
even
my
yeah,
parental
because even
influence.
with that, some things you do still, and that's another thing.
Yeah,
We have to.
I do still
We
censor
have
some
to.
things.
We have. It's you'll know.
Right.
You'll
When
definitely
to
know when to
and
censor.
not
But
to.
some of the stuff that we feel we need to censor, it's
It don't
just
need to be.
y'all just really doing extra stuff.
Cause extra damage in the long run.
Yeah. Um.
Hmm.
So
We probably did a lot of ranting this time around. Maybe we'll have some more helpful tips in part two. I don't know. Y'all give us some feedback. I mean, how do y'all feel? What was your parental influence like? Was it positive? Was it negative? Was it okay?
Mhm.
Was there something about your childhood you needed to work through? Did you go to counseling? Are you going to counseling? My parental influence it had an impact on how I pick my partners.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna dig off into that, and we're gonna dig off into that into part two.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely, parental influence has influenced the way I raise my kids, and I've learned better. So
it's called realizing that you're not your parents.
Yes.
And that
the generation has taught me I can't do what my mom and daddy them did.
Yeah.
Ooh, no.
Even with relationships, you have to really understand that you are individually outside of them, and you need to dissect them as um, good and bad. And when I say good and bad, is okay. I see that right there, and sometimes I do that bad thing.
Let me take that and modify it.
Yeah, let me change that. I need to make that into something good. Oh, that's right there, good. I know I do that. That characteristic is wonderful. Keep it, and you work on it, and you make it even better.
Implement it, add it.
Yes.
And then sometimes you can find a difference in.
Yeah, we have to stop looking at our parents and saying that y'all are the reason why I messed up. Not saying that's not true, but
in some cases,
you're
some are, and some aren't.
You're an adult now. Go.
But I have to say, as an adult, you really can say, mom and dad, y'all probably didn't do the greatest job, but I forgive you, and I'm going to do things a little different to make my life better. And that is A-okay.
Yep, forgive yourself, forgive them, and find healing. That's what our narrative changing at the end of the day is. Trying to heal, definitely the Black community, but adults in general, because in order for our kids to become our future in a great way, we have to change the narrative on how they're being raised. So, with that, oh gosh, all right. Ooh. Until next time, guys. Again, like we stated, you can follow us on
Instagram and TikTok, Mr. and Ms. Take Over the World.
We do have questions and polls on Spotify as well.
If y'all want a topic, let us know.
Let us know.
Hit us up, DM us, whatever. You want to be on the show?
Yeah, come on. We're looking for great couples.
You can be on by phone. You don't have to be on camera.
Nope, you don't have to be on camera. You can be on my phone. Yep, audio as well. So
we're here for it. Bring on us some.
Well, you guys have a great night.
Until next time.
Peace.
Bye.